Hello everyone, welcome back to your channel. Today we're diving deep into Tottenham's win over Manchester City. A tactical battle where Thomas Frank defeated Pep Guardiola ideas. Let's break it down. Let's start with Manchester City and midfield struggles. One of the biggest problems for City yesterday came in midfield. Tottenham's physical midfielders completely dominated. They pressed hard, won duels, and controlled the tempo of the game. Tijani Reinders is a good player, with strong shooting ability and solid technical skills, but as a midfielder, he has many weaknesses, especially in City's possession-based system. At his previous clubs and under former managers, he wasn't required to be creative. It was usually enough for him to carry the ball forward and occasionally add goals or assists to team. But at Manchester City, the story is different. Expecting that with Reinders and Rodri returning from a long injury, the midfield could be fully repaired was an overly optimistic view. Reinders cannot be considered a suitable replacement for Kevin De Bruyne, or even for Gundogan at his peak. So, with players like Reinders and Marmoush, City lacked proper balance in the first half despite creating chances. Another big blow to Guardiola's plans came with the injury of Ryan Ait-Nouri and his replacement by Nathan Ake. This substitution deprived City of having an attacking fullback, because with Marmoush on the field, Ait-Nouri had to take on more winger-like responsibilities. But once Ake came in, Marmoush was essentially neutralized. Ake was good defensively, but offensively he dropped off teams significantly. On the right side, Rico Lewis was also very disappointing and added nothing to the team. So, City not only suffered from the lack of a proper midfielder, but also from the absence of effective fullbacks in this game. Perhaps Ake's inclusion should have been paired with Jeremy Doku instead of Marmoush to maintain dynamism on the left. Although Doku has a different profile compared to Marmoush, who is smarter in finding space, in this particular match, Doku would have been much more effective. It's clear that City still needs more time and adaptability. The return of injured players like Gvardiol could greatly help stabilize the defensive line, which is essential when City lose the ball and need to regroup quickly. Last night, that backline was especially poor in offside coordination, as we saw on the first goal. On top of that, a foolish individual error by goalkeeper James Trafford, combined with defensive mistakes, completely doomed City in this match. To be fair, though, we shouldn't ignore Tottenham's brilliant pressing under Thomas Frank, which put huge pressure on City's backline and was the main factor behind Trafford's error. Still, sometimes a little composure and intelligence and simply clearing the ball in a dangerous moment can save the team. Now, let's move to Tottenham. And honestly, what a performance! The first thing that stood out, their fitness levels. Spurs looked sharper, stronger, and more aggressive from start to finish. Credit to Thomas Frank, who not only prepared them physically, but also tactically. Frank is a coach known for detailed opponent analysis, and against Pep, it was clear. One example, João Palhinha constantly covered for Cristian Romero, allowing the defense to stay compact and organized. But the real highlight was Tottenham's pressing game. It was clean, intense, and well-coordinated. Players like Pape Sarr and Palhinha stood out massively. They completely disrupted City's build-up, forcing mistakes and bad passes. Frank also showed his tactical flexibility. His team didn't just press, they controlled the game's rhythm. We saw it against PSG earlier, and now against City too. Two big teams. Spurs are becoming a model of how a well-coached side with limited tools can maximize efficiency. It must be said that Thomas Frank, with the tools at his disposal, has done an excellent job transforming this Tottenham side. He has managed to build a structure around these players that can often be seen as a real trump card in big games. A great example is the way he has transformed Richarlison. Frank has managed to bring out his full commitment and integrate him perfectly into the team. Overall, Tottenham look like a very good side in many aspects, though not yet at the absolute elite level. Injuries or disruptions to Frank's tactical puzzle could hurt them later in the season. That's why, while everything is still in order, it's crucial for Spurs to collect as many points as possible. But one thing is already clear. This is a completely different team from the one that finished 17th last season. With their new energy and structure, plus their participation in the Champions League this year, Tottenham are almost guaranteed to have a much better season. At the end, I think Manchester City still need time. With the return of their injured players and Pep Guardiola gaining a clearer understanding of his squad, City can eventually return to their peak form. And that's all for today. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments. Let me know which team's match you'd like me to analyze in our weekly Big Match Breakdown. Thank you for watching, and we'll be back tomorrow with all the latest football news at Football Roundup.